Maximum volume. Everyone can see we're together as we walk on by. And we fly just like birds of a feather. I want to know all of the people around us, they say, can they be that close? Just let me speak for the record. We give him love and a family dog. We are family. Yeah. We are. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and say, sing it to me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Powering off.
Hey, good afternoon. This is I know it's been a long time. It's been almost like since the holidays since we've last met. So this is really Veterans Council Veterans' first live stream for 2022. And I tell you what, we have got so much to cover and so many things I'm so excited about. I just really can't get to it. But first of all, before I really start, I got into that here. We got some of our guests, and we'll introduce them a little later on. Hey guys, we'll be back. So one thing I do want to talk about is for those other guys who had that great Merry Christmas. Well, I spent my Christmas on a cruise with my lovely wife Thelma and our two granddaughters, and Summer and Danielle. We went on a cruise, and it was safer than people think because when you're on a cruise ship, almost everybody on there is vaccinated, and then they follow the protocol. Once you step off the ship, it's all like, I have no idea who's vaccinated. I went to Walmart and I was so nervous. I didn't know who touched this. I was just washing my hand every chance I got. But I want to say a healthy shout out to my wife and my granddaughters. Had a great time. I'm hoping you guys had a great time for Christmas and New Year's as well. And now we're on to 2022. I know we're at this time where we got the Omicron now out there, or Megacron. Next time be Megatron. But and I'm not trying to make joke of it, but it's just saying, we've got to still live our lives, and I am somebody that, I am vaccinated. I don't have that, that anti-vaccination because I wanted to cruise, right? I'm just telling you right now, I wanted to cruise. I'll do anything to cruise, right? Remind me of the day when I was at Airborne and I got stationed in Fort Bragg. I wasn't going to jump. I think I was going to jump, but there's no way I was going to walk around Fort Bragg and be a leg. So I jumped because I had to. So that's kind of how I felt at the vaccine. But at any rate, enough of that, right? We want to start this time off, and what I want to kind of talk about is that Veterans Council Veterans, we are doing some stuff that are like, we've got a couple new programs that are coming out. But before that, I want to talk about what we talked about last year, just real quickly, because I don't want to forget about it, because I think it was a momentous event we had last year in December, and that's this: we had 3 of my fellow veterans who were honored by having a Medal of Honor. And I tell you, I was excited about it. I actually tried to broadcast it, and it was interesting because it said, at 1:00, and then, of course, it didn't show up until like 1:45. But anyway, we still got a chance to broadcast it because these are heroes, right? These are the heroes. And from Christopher Plummer to Ashley to Alan Cash and Christopher Solis. Now, Master Sergeant Plummy was actually survived. So he actually, I think he's stationed in McCord. And the other 2, unfortunately, have passed away. And they're heroes. I want everybody to know about that they've done that. And you might have forgot about it and see it because it's during holidays. But hats off to these great heroes. And I think we're having some more coming next year. So that's something we covered last year. And we also broadcasted so everybody can understand and see what was going on with our veterans and our heroes. One thing, Veterans Council Veterans, people always ask me, what does Veterans Council Veterans do? What do you do? And I can tell you the short answer is that we provide support for veterans suicide prevention. And we do this in so many other ways. So not just we take care of the awareness, the education, the intervention, and the postvention. Some of you guys don't know what postvention is. Postvention is when somebody is successful and die by suicide, and then the family has to pick up the pieces or the relatives and stuff. We do all three of those. And almost all of our events has something to do with trying to mitigate or reduce the risk of veteran suicide. And you'll see a couple of our things we're doing in the coming year. We'll understand where that comes from military sexual trauma, a lot of people out there don't realize that military sexual trauma for women veterans and women veterans have twice the rate of suicide than non-women veterans. 50% more suicides, and the primary trigger right now is two. One is military sexual trauma, the other one is eating disorder. And so that's why you're going to see we have a military sexual trauma conference again to bring it to light, to connect the community, to connect the resources, and bring awareness to this. And so everything we do is somehow in one way related to veteran suicide. Speaking of suicides, I wanted to talk about this. This is something that, maybe as we go through all this Omicron and Delta variant and the Capitol, attack of the Capitol, and all these things that are going that are on your newscast, this is still happening. The military is still losing our troops, an increased number. And if you just look at this thing, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, this is a sad thing, the children left behind, the friends that are left behind, and it's still increasing. And we got to do something about it. And that's what we're trying to do at Veterans Council and Veterans, that, we want to do something about it. But we're about action, not talk. Those out there that do push-ups and walk miles and all that kind of stuff, that's fine. That brings awareness, but you still got to do something about the intervention piece and the post-vention piece that we want to address as well. So that's something that I just want to bring to you, like, that you guys may not have seen or heard about, but veteran suicide is still increasing, and that means our work is really cut out for us, for Veterans Council and Veterans. I also wanted to show that we have one of our programs we do have is going to be Veterans Family Mental Wellness Matters program. It does matter. The family veterans, it doesn't matter. You don't hear much about it. Sometimes it gets confusing. Some people think that if the military spouse gets the support, it's the same thing as a veteran, and it's not. Most of the support that you see out there for suicide and veterans, either for the veteran themselves or for the active duty family, the military spouses who are either active duty or reserves, National Guards, but not for the veterans. And so this is something the Veterans Council Veterans want to address this year, and it's going to have three components to this program. It's about, we're going to have workshops, and we'll talk about the workshop in a couple of minutes. We're going to have monthly Zoom support meetings because we want to connect. I think that we're stronger as a community. We're stronger if we all work together and lean on each other. And so we're going to, these are what the support group's about. And finally, we're going to provide funding and counseling for these family members. And that way, most of the time, whenever a family member, they need to get help, they got to go through the veteran to get the help. They always got to go through the veteran. Well, what we want to do is change that and empower the family, so that way if the spouse feels that she can't take it, she's going through too much, or if the kid's going through too much because the veteran has PTSD or suicide ideations or whatever, we want to empower them by having them also providing them counseling as well. So those are three programs that we're going to do for this year to try. Because I always said, and I guess we'll echo that if you strengthen the family, you strengthen the veteran. If the family's weak, the veteran's weak. It doesn't matter how much support you give the veteran. If he goes home to a family's dysfunctional, mainly because of his disorder, then it's only a part-time, very temporary fix. You got to do both, and that's what we're going to try to do with veterans, counseling veterans. Remember earlier I mentioned I talked about the workshop, and this is why I'm excited about the workshop. So what we're going to do is, and we decided to have this workshop. We decided for it to be both virtual and in person. And so, but because of the COVID, the Omicron, and all that stuff going on, we still care about the safety of our people that we're serving. So we're really limiting the guests to about no more than 35. You can get it via Eventbrite, and I'll put the information on pretty soon on a computer, and you'll see it in the remarks. So you get it through Eventbrite. Only 35 tickets are available. We already got 7 people already got it, so we're down probably 28. And then we'll do the virtual. So that, because we want to make sure everybody gets this. We want to make sure that we start this momentum that Veterans Family Matters, so that we're going to put this virtual. We have like 6 or 7 slots for virtual. So it's a hybrid. It's new for us, but we think it's very important. It's worth the risk that you have this ability to the access to resources that are designed for you. So it's going to be 28th of February and the 1st of March, which is a Monday and Tuesday. It's going to start from 8 to 5 or 8 to 4 o'clock. Depends on the thing there. Right now, it's scheduled to be at the Hillsborough Veteran Mall Park at the Veteran Resource Center. But we still got to be careful because this with Omicron going on and stuff. We have no idea what the world gonna look like back in February 27th. So we're going to make sure our alternative. It will still be in person, but be prepared if we have an alternative location, just in case the county cannot provide support here for our event. So now that we got a chance to see that the event here, now I want to sit there and bring on our special guest. Again, you've probably seen him before, and we have Amy also is really Amy also is like the primary presenter of this event. She's gonna and she's gonna tell us a little bit about herself, but she's gonna tell us again why she thinks this event is very important. And then we also will have Mary Morris, who's a relationship with a Marine. So and she can see if we can ask her some feedback. Is this important? Is this something we should do, or are we wasting our time? But first, I want to go with Amy, and we'll have a little conversation with Amy. Good afternoon, Amy. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. It's always a great day to be with VCV.
Ooh, I'm glad to say that. Amy, I tell you, I want the people out there who sees this that we've been doing this, like we've had mastermind for like 3 months, just trying to get this right and trying to get this together. And you have been there all the time. You have been there like a troop. And here we are, and I could say, I'm just going to be, we would not be able to do this where we're at if not for you and your commitment. And so I just want to say that I really appreciate the energy you put in, the effort to making this a reality.
Well, thank you. And it is quite my privilege, really, to be continuing the mission and service. So thank you for creating the opportunity for me to assist and support this.
Okay, and so tell us a little bit about yourself, Amy. Then we'll start to have a couple questions I actually want to come to this workshop. So tell us about yourself. Who are you?
Sure. Hello, everyone. So again, I'm Amy Otzel. I am a retired U.S. Army behavioral health sergeant, an Iraq War combat theater veteran. I also am someone who shares lived experience in healing and recovery from post-traumatic stress. And I am also someone who, again, is continuing the mission and service as a licensed mental health counselor. I'm also a licensed professional counselor, former U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs readjustment counseling therapist, a past military state support clinician, and been working as a psychotherapist with military veterans and family members for many years, as well as one of my absolute favorite pastimes is being a staunch advocate for our population. So put a lot of advocacy work out there into the world.
Great, and I appreciate it again. So again, this is the 20th of February and the 1st of March. And we have our 3 little pins, we call it educate, connect, and empower. Can you tell us a little bit about just real quick about the importance of those 3?
Yes. So the importance of those 3, particular to the family member population, is that there is such limited access and opportunity for family members of veterans. Once a service member separates from the service or is discharged or retired, etc., family members are no longer tracked and have very few and far between benefits and access to very important resources, and thereby lack the ability to gain important education, to cultivate powerful connections, and to put it all together in a package of personal and self and family empowerment to carry forward with their own wellness and ability to support the family, support self, and support their veteran in a meaningful and valuable way. So educate, connect, and empower is incredibly important to assure that this special population of people have what they need to not only survive, but thrive in their work in service as well, even after separation from the military formally, and be able to support and take care of themselves, their loved ones, and their veterans.
Thank you. And so that educate, connect, and empower. These are things you'll leave with when you leave that workshop. We promise you that.
Absolutely.
So also I want to bring on as well. One of the I guess the clientele when it comes to people who are actually targeting for this workshop. And this is Mary. How you doing, Mary?
Good.
Yeah. So Mary, tell us, do you think having this workshop is that meaningful, or are we wasting our time, or what?
It's absolutely meaningful. I remember, I was in a relationship with a Marine. He retired from the Marine Corps. He also was stationed and he was deployed several times to Iraq, Afghanistan. And I remember, nagging, why don't you talk to me some more? Just following him around, why can't you talk? Why can't you communicate? When I look back, I'm like, wow, what was if I had just gotten the ability to understand where he was coming from, it would have changed so much. So I'm honored to be a part of this because, you guys are so passionate about it. And since I was, the clientele, or the person that needs this, I definitely think it's going to be an amazing thing. And I'm honored to be a part of it. And if I have to tell the story about, just talk to me, just talk, please.
So, I appreciate it, Mary. And for those of you who are watching, again, we just actually to register, share, register, share, because maybe you don't think you need it, but you never know who will need this, and that's what it's for. So definitely register if you can't register, and share. You don't have an excuse because we're going to be in person and we're going to be virtual. So you got really no excuse to not be there and really start strengthening your family and stuff like that. So, Amy, I wanted to Just real quickly, what's some of the disorders that be covered in there? I guess PTSD. Give us a couple of the disorders that we covered in this workshop.
So one of the facets of the workshop is going to arm our audience with education and information on how they can better understand some very common conditions of stress and trauma that tend to impact military populations as a way of making them more informed. Just like Mary was saying, I didn't understand, I didn't grasp it, I didn't get it. And maybe I was doing certain things that didn't make it better, or maybe I missed certain things that I was doing better because I didn't really get it. So we are definitely going in this workshop to address psychoeducation around common conditions of trauma and stress, to include adjustment disorders, post-traumatic stress, depression, and really emphasize those along with some other aspects that can be associated features, like the propensity towards suicidal ideations, irritability, rage, as well as survivor grief, survivor guilt, and different aspects that are associated, like substance use, etc.
Yeah, and those are important again because you gotta somehow deal with yourself as a veteran that's going through this. You got to go through it, and you also got to take care of the family if you have a family. And there's so much stuff going on, and Amy, obviously, you and I served and stuff, and that horrendous situation that happened in Afghanistan. I'm not trying to be political. That horrendous where 13 Marines died. The families have got to be devastated. And what is their resource? And so there are things that are going on that people just take it for but we know it affects the family. So we're going to have more than just that. And we're going to have, this is just the first of many. So it's not a one-off, because it's a journey that we want to include together on everyone that's going to be there. So again, on February the 28th, 1st of March, Federal Memorial Park, please sign up, register. I put the information in the chat, and we appreciate it. We're only going to do 35 in person, so we can do that. CDC protocol, the 6 feet across, or that, and the mask, or like that. But we definitely want to do that. So again, I want to thank you guys. There's something that's been dear to my heart, because my parents were in the military. Amy, you have a family, so 2 kiddos and your husband.
I do, and I have a civilian husband,
Right.
and in so many ways, the moving through the past 20 years have been interesting to say the least, because certainly someone with formal education about conditions of mental health, with my licensing and background as a counselor, but also someone who went through the experiences of trauma and stress and realized that one of the most important pieces is recognizing the human who's involved, as well as the healing and health and wellness needs that have to accompany accompany the pathway to growth. It's not just simply about mental health diagnoses and treatment. It's about really building self-care and wellness and healing in order to gain health and recovery. And we want, during this training, to also empower our audience, our participants, with ways that they can take care of themselves and promote their health and their success, and share that with the veteran they love as well.
Yes, and that's important. So we're going to have little activities that's going to help with the connect as well, because, you know, when you first get there, you kind of like, and then we want to try to, you know, break that ice. That's going to be one of Mary's, because Mary's part of our operating team. So that's one of her roles, to keep everybody like engaged, don't get all isolated when we start this. And again, it's just not mental health, but you mentioned, Amy, you're going to also mention talking about the meditation and other things going on as well. So it's just not mental health. Okay, so anyway, I just want to give you'll be hearing more about this as we get closer and closer to the event. I just want to make sure you got a chance to meet the primary presenter, Amy, and then you'll see Mary there as well. So again, register and share. If you're a sponsor and you want to see a good cause to sponsor, this is one of them, because you're going to not just affect the veteran, but you're going to affect the whole family as well. And because one of the things that we always say in Veterans Council, we strive for Veterans Council veterans. We don't want the veteran or his family to pay. We want somebody else to pay. And that's where sponsors come in, where they can actually pick up the bill while they've already earned it. They've already done what it requires. Why are we asking them to do it again? So, you know, that's one of the things we're going to be pushing on for the next couple of years. I mean, for the next couple of years, for next year anyway. So thank you very much, ladies. So let me get my little extra, and I'll see you guys on the other side. There you go. So here we go. There was Veterans Council veteran update, and I hope that you got a lot out of what's going on as far as that. Now, there's more going on. You hear more about it later on as well. We're going to do military sexual trauma conferences. We're going to have special memorial for families who lost a veteran to suicide. We're going to have a typical yearly veteran suicide, military veterans family suicide summit. So there's a lot. Veterans Council veterans doing a lot, but we can't do it without sponsors and donors. So every little bit counts. So we'll appreciate that. So we're about ready to end this, but before we end this, you know, I always got to do my one thing, and that's my outro.